Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. That's depending where you are in the world. I'm here live in London doing the nighttime devotion. The devotional is called Conflict and Courage by Ellen White. The title today, A True Witness. John 10:41 and 42. John did no miracle, but all things that John spake of this man were true, and many believed on him there. In the announcement to Zacharias before the birth of John, the angel had declared, "He shall be great in the sight of the Lord." That's from Luke 1:15. In the estimation of heaven, what is it that constitutes greatness? Not that which the world accounts greatness, not wealth, nor rank, or noble descent, or intellectual gifts in themselves considered. It's moral worth that God values. Love and purity are the attributes he prizes most. John was great in the sight of the Lord when, before the messengers from the Sanhedrin, before the people, and before his own disciples, he refrained from seeking honor for himself, but pointed all to Jesus as the promised one. His unselfish joy in the ministry of the Christ presents the highest type of nobility ever revealed in man. Aside from the joy that John found in his mission, his life had been one of sorrow. His voice had been seldom held except in the wilderness. His was a lonely lot, and he was not permitted to see the result of his own labors. It was not his privilege to be with Christ, to witness the manifestation of divine power attending the greater light. It was not for him to see the blind restored to sight, to see the sick healed, to see the dead raised to life. He didn't behold the light that shone through every word of the Christ, shedding glory upon the promises of prophecy. The least disciple who saw Christ's mighty works, heard his words, was in this sense more highly privileged than John the Baptist, and therefore is said to have been greater than he. It was not given to John to call down fire from heaven or to raise the dead as Elijah did, or to wield Moses' rod of power in the name of God. He was sent to herald the Saviour's advent, to call upon the people to prepare for his coming. So faithfully did he fulfill his mission that as the people recalled what he had taught them of Jesus, they could say, all things that John spake of this man were true. Such witness to Christ, every disciple of the Master is called upon to bear. And the title, A True Witness. And this is why John is considered one of the greatest, because he did such a true work, a great work, and yet remained so humble. He paved the way for the Christ and then let him walk it without even requiring acknowledgement. God honored John the Baptist for the work he did. Even as we said in past devotions, John ended up in a dungeon. John was killed in prison. And yet he was still considered one of the greatest martyrs, but one of the greatest of the disciples as well, so to speak. But he wasn't a disciple of the Christ. He was the forerunner. And as we said before, when Christ came and took over, he stepped aside, said to his disciples, go and follow him. He is now your rabbi. I've done what I was required to do. His time is now. Mine is done. To be a true witness is to recognize what it is you're meant to do, where you're meant to do, and for how long, and when it's time to step aside. I hope you had a blessed Sabbath yesterday, and I hope you've had a good Sunday.